begins here. Once upon a time, in a peaceful village, lived a flock of... In the day, they toiled for food. And when evening fell, they sought refuge from the looming fables. Stories told and retold through the ages. The ancient, but they always draw from real life, don't they? The same story gets told by many. And each person brings whatever you learn from it is just one of countless different interpretations, like us now. Caught in a carefully crafted plotline, this village marks the beginning of my story with Jinjo. So that magistrate led you here to meet me. One day, a shepherd visited. The shepherd brought them promises of abundance and protection. The lambs, drawn in by his words, nope, quite the opposite. With a wave of his hand, the shepherd could grant their every wish. His flock obeyed, bowing their heads, pleading. They no longer had to struggle for survival. As their once meager lot, the flock worshipped their shepherd-turned-god, praising him and holding. What's wrong? Does my story... Imagine you were one of those lambs, facing irresistible temptation and pressure from your peers. Oh, so we agree already. You are right. But the world we live in falls short of our ideals. The shepherd still reigns, and the lamb, it's up to the two of us to make that ideal. The lambs reveled in endless bonfire parties, celebrating their new... As each night passed, it was the only one to notice how its flock was... Rover, do you think someone would give you what you want? I once believed that too. Thought as long as I paid a high enough price, I could get my desire. But true equality is scarce, always has been. The world was never a fair place. Wouldn't you agree? To receive equal retribution, one must give more. When every wish comes with a hefty price, people weigh their options carefully. But when they can make someone else bear the price, they all rush to make more wishes. They don't consider they too may one day... Funny, isn't it? Later, the shepherd openly blamed the black lamb for the flock's decline. On the next day, the white lambs welcomed the rising sun as usual. But the black lamb was... The shepherd introduced an unspoken rule to this village. One, that Suddenly, the once doting god stopped fulfilling wishes. Because no more sacrifice. After witnessing the black lamb's actions and hearing from their almighty shepherd, what do you suppose the white lambs did? Those oblivious lambs. Little did they know the most fearsome Well done. You didn't let any deep... Now, I wonder, What is your takeaway from this story? Answer me and I'll reveal the truth of who was the real culprit behind the diminishing number of lambs. Brilliant answer. You saw past the true culprit was not the shepherd, but the white lambs who chose to. The shepherd never forced them into anything. No one would have been killed if they simply refrained from making those wishes. Their greed and Now, my second question. What price did the lambs pay for their wishes? Of course, as always, life was the most valuable thing. Here's my final question. Don't rush, Rover. What is the truth you've uncovered?
The shepherd was granting wishes by sacrificing the lives of lambs. The flock never found out about.
Really? Do you really believe a hero would? Little lambs cowered and huddled in their village, terrified of the relentless wolf packs. Until a shepherd arrived, bearing the gift of wishes and providing shelter and sustenance. Slowly, the shepherd gained control over the flock, and the lambs lived contented lives. But this is not the end of our story. The shepherd found the solitary black lamb in his flock and offered to grant any wish it desired. In exchange, he wanted one of its companions as a sacrifice. The black lamb refused, and it was shunned by its flock, left without shelter or sustenance. After the black lamb's exile, more lambs continued to vanish. The shepherd then blamed the black lamb for breaking the rules. He withheld his wish-granting power as punishment. From the very beginning, the lambs knew the risk of making wishes. They too could become sacrifices for those of others. But they always believed it wouldn't be them. Meanwhile, some lambs reasoned that since they had already risked being sacrificed for someone else's wish, it was then only fair to pass on that risk for a chance at fulfilling their own desires. So they continued to play the game. They all knew the consequences, but chose to remain silent. Fearful, yet greedy, they followed the shepherd's orders and made wishes again and again, until one day, a brave black lamb spoke up, shattering the flock's facade, their illusion of a peaceful and happy life. Black lamb got in their way, and that of the shepherd's greedy pursuit, sparking hatred in their hearts. Suddenly, they could no longer ignore the blood and ashes of past sacrifices littering the ground. How do you like my story, Rover? What really happened here? I suppose you already have it figured out? The black lamb who rebelled against the rules, and the white lambs who the innocent maiden sacrificed, and the villagers who turned. They had it. All the shepherd had to do was execute the rebel. That's how he kept the fun answer, but no. Not even. I was never the shepherd. Never will be. You and I, we are the black lamb. No. Interesting, Rover. Well then, let's see if this black lamb is going to end up. Welcome to the realm of endless chaos. Now is your time to think. Oh, you found us already. Shake and shiver, blink an eye. A flock of lambs comes passing by. Watch out, my dear.
Dare you?
Your pioneers are lying at your feet. Don't rush. One slip and you'll shatter to pieces. Such speed. Such brutality. Can't you see? Tell me, do you want to be the rule-setting shepherd or the rule-breaking black lamb? If a sane person manages to survive in a realm of lunatics, would you call them the last one of reason or the sole apostle? Rover!
Rover? Rover!
I shattered Scar's illusion. That should have injured him.
Oh, should I thank you?
Stay away from her!
Didn't you promise to leave me some?
With one condition. I do hope you haven't let that slip. Don't let your improvisation trouble others.
Look at you, rushing in to protect your... No worries. I know all the do's and don'ts. I don't need you to... Rover, it seems our happy little date must come to an end. But don't forget my sincere... Let me know what you choose. An unexpected gift? An honest and open exchange? The choice is yours. I know how smart you are. We'll meet again in the not-too-distant future.
They're gone. Should we go after them? Scar's resonance abilities appear to involve teleportation. It took me some time to break that barrier. Sorry, Rover. Huh? Why are you here, little one? I've never seen any tacit discord display such vivid emotions. The brother had mentioned. Yes, that is a possibility. Let's talk about it later. Rover, can you... It seems all the tragedies in CG